Hey friend, welcome to day 11 of our mobility video series. Look, we're almost done. There's only 12 videos. Today we are focusing on our lower body, so you should be feeling really good in that regard. Let's get started. Okay, so for today's session, we are going to start down on the ground. We are going to begin in a seated straddle stretch. So you are going to come to a seated position. Legs are going to come wide or as wide as you feel comfortable. Let's try and splay the feet out so rotation is happening externally through the hips. You might find that your legs don't go too wide or they go really quite wide. I feel like I'm probably somewhere in between, but I haven't done this stretch in a while and she feels tight. So what we're going to do, chest nice and upright, legs are straight. We want to pivot through the hip here. So not through the back reaching forward. We want to be pivoting through the hips. Reaching forward until we get a nice stretch through the calf, the groin, and through the other side. You might find you don't have to go too far to feel the stretch. I am very surprised with myself right now because this feels very tight. But we just meet ourselves where we're at. That's okay. We'll start in center position. We will do one side at a time here in a moment. We're just going to start with this. Good. Moving to one side here. So we are going to keep arms on either side of our legs. Again, focusing on keeping back fairly flat here. Once you've been here for a few moments, we are going to bring the opposite hand inside and come over as best we can. If you can't reach that far, that's fine. Just do your best. It's interesting, and you might find this too. I do feel this stretch in my leg, but I also feel it a ton in my lower back on the one side. So you might get it kind of kill two birds in one stone, as the saying goes, in terms of getting two stretches in one. Good, bringing it back to center, we are now going to do the opposite side. So, hands on both sides. Chest pressing down, core nice and tight. Bringing the hand in, reaching over. Focusing on keeping those feet splayed out. Again, if you can't reach that far, that's fine. Just reaching overhead. Good, bring it back to the center. Good, we've done both sides. Feel that out, how we feel it. Next stretch is going to be a progression from this. So you are going to bring up one leg will still be splayed out. You are then going to drop this knee and bring it back a bit. This in itself might feel incredibly awkward or tight. So if you just need to sit here in this position, totally fine. I know for myself, this actually feels pretty good today. You have the option, you can go to the side, get a little bit more of a similar stretch to the last. You can lean back slightly to get a bit more of a stretch through that back hip. Or if this is enough today, just holding this position, that's fine too. It's what we call a hurdler stretch. If your hips are quite tight, you might feel a pretty intense stretch across that, and that's okay, but just meet yourself where you're at. If it's too intense, you can always put a pillow under your knee to try and reduce that range of motion a little bit, or you can decrease the range of motion and just bring the knee in a little bit closer. A few more seconds here, and then we're going to switch sides. Good, bringing it back to the center, nice and gentle. So we're bringing that knee in, opening up through the rotation, opposite side. So one leg is straight, one leg is open. Depending on where you feel that stretch, again, you can go the forward route if you want a little bit more stretch through the leg, or you can do the lean back route if you want a little bit more of a stretch through the hip, or you just keep it completely straight if that feels good too. Every time I stretch and get into a zone where I'm stretching, you know, if I put on some good music or put on a playlist or even a TV show that I enjoy, I always think to myself, man, I gotta do this more because it feels so good when you're done. A few more seconds here. Good, coming out of that, bringing the knee forward just to assist with that movement, opening up. We are going to flip over, moving into a downward dog stretch. So hands are going to be nice and flat. Pivoting on the toe, we're going to bring the legs up, core nice and tight. You can pedal the feet if we want a little bit more in the calf, or just holding this position so we get a nice stretch, pressing through the shoulders, through the back of the calves, back of the hamstrings. A few more moments here. You could hold on one side as well. Good, coming to a plank position, we're going to bring up one leg into a pigeon stretch. That back leg is straight, stretching through our glute. Now trying to keep our bum flat or pressing our bum into there. We can stay in this upright position, or we can come down to the elbows, whichever feels good for you. Should feel a nice stretch across the glute. Few more moments here, then we're going to switch sides. Coming up nice and gentle. Again, you can always pause the video if you're finding a stretch especially good and spend more time there. Crossing the leg over, opposite leg straight. Finding that sweet spot. If we need a pillow to assist, we can put it under our leg. Then we can come down to the elbows if we want that slightly deeper stretch. A few more moments here. Standing upright, bringing the foot back to a 4-point kneeling position so we can get up onto our feet. This is our last stretch for the day. shake that out a little bit. How are you feeling? Is there anything there that you want to spend more time with? By all means, you can do so. One hand on a wall if you need the support. We are going to do a quad stretch. So bringing up the back foot, squeezing through the glutes, trying to get a nice flat plane, feeling a good stretch across the front of the leg. Good. Pressing, squeezing those glutes to press that hip open. Good. Shake that out, switch sides. Good, shake that out. All right, how are you feeling? Did that feel good? Did any stretch feel particularly tight that you would like to do again? Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear how it goes. You only have one last video here, and I hope that you've seen the benefit. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. That's all for now.